As we all know, our corrupt Supreme Court, which has been bought and sold by billionaires to do their bidding, bent over backwards and broke the Constitution to keep Trump out of jail. So, fine, they saved him from being a convict, but they can't save him from everything, especially the truth. And right now, Trump lawyers are absolutely scrambling to protect him against Jack Smith. I'm going to show a video in just a minute that shows their panicking last-second maneuvers as they try and shield Trump from what is coming only days before his inauguration. Since conning his way into the White House and turning it into his own personal sales office, Herr Trump has done nothing but prove that the American justice system is based on class, race, and gender. From leading an insurrection to stealing classified documents to sell to the highest bidder, convict Trump has managed to stay out of jail only because he is rich and powerful. And if anything proves how out of whack this country is, it's the fact that this sniveling, whiny, perpetual victim has any power whatsoever. Still, his history as a real estate buffoon, constantly avoiding criminal prosecution, served him well as he worked hard at being a corrupt president. But even as his mob lawyers and corrupt judges like Eileen Cannon and the Supreme Court sheltered him from the storm, they can't shelter him from the truth. Jack Smith is about to release his report on the cases he was bringing against Trump. And so Trump's lawyers are now panicking as they petition, wait for it, Merrick Garland to suppress the report. Never let it be said that history does not love irony. Clearly, Trump's lawyers were caught flat-footed, but they are also desperate to prevent the report from coming out until their own administration can bury it. Watch this.
Breaking news is we have just learned from a filing that Donald Trump's attorneys and attorneys for his allies have now reviewed Special Counsel Jack Smith's report that he is preparing to publish as soon as in the coming days. My legal source tonight is the former federal prosecutor, Elliot Williams. Elliot, we had you booked on something totally different, but this came down, and we're reading through this, and I'll talk about why this filing happened. But big news here is that Trump's attorneys and attorneys for his allies have gone in, and it says from January 3rd to January 6th, so over this weekend, to review a draft of the report that we knew Jack Smith was planning to publish before Biden leaves office. Right. But now this filing is coming from John Irving, other attorneys, Stan Woodward, who just got a job in the Trump administration, I should note. They represent the other two co-defendants in the classified documents case. They seem to have an issue with the report overall, but specifically with Jack Smith issuing part of a report on the classified documents case, since one, it was thrown out, and since two, it still is going up against these two co-defendants. Right,
but the evidence, well, let's back up. The whole point of a report is that per law, in U.S. law, when there's a special counsel, the special counsel by law submits a report to the Attorney General, and the Attorney General can choose to make that public. Now, all of these matters that Jack Smith is investigating would necessarily have made their way into a final report. Those are investigations of the former president, both in Washington, D.C. and in Florida. These defendants in Florida just don't like that their names, I think, are appearing in this report. And that's a little bit perplexing because we knew that evidence was going to appear in Jack Smith's report.
Yeah, but you know what I was looking at here is one thing they're pushing back on is at least part of this report. I mean, what this would say, and what I guess we did not really fully have an idea of before, was that this report was going to focus on, we knew the election interference case, but clearly Jack Smith was also initially planning to publish part of it on the classified documents case, despite how it was thrown out by Judge Cannon in Florida.
Now, it all depends on what it says. Now, there might be some overlap in the evidence between the two. It's the same major defendant that appeared in both cases. Who knows what they saw in this report that's making them put this filing out here now. But but again, I still think, based on the nature of the investigations, that it would not have been a surprise that at least some of that information might have made it into the report.
They say it threatens the integrity of future potential proceedings. That would be against Carlos de Oliveira and Walt Nauta, presumably his two co-defendants in this case. Is that argument potentially going to be successful if you're the Justice Department?
Well, a new Justice Department is about to come in, and I think is likely to dismiss cases against them anyway, or at least has an interest in doing so. So I don't think it changes much, given the change in the Justice Department that's about to happen.
What about this notion? So they go in to review this report in recent days. I mean, it's pretty interesting to imagine these attorneys who have represented Trump or allies of his, because I should note John Lauro is signed on at this at the beginning, asking Merrick Garland not to release this report at all. I mean, they're going into the DOJ. What does that look like? Is there, are they just going in and they're handed a stack of documents by Jack Smith and he's watching? Is there
it may not have been, well, I don't know if it would be Jack Smith himself. Certainly his staff might have been there, but no, they will not be emailed a document like this. They will be given an opportunity to review a document, probably in hard copy format, to make sure that nothing's wrong, nothing's inaccurate, nothing misstates the law, or if they have a huge problem with it that they want to just appeal to the Attorney General, they'll have an opportunity to do that. But no, it happens all the time where you'll bring someone into the Justice Department to review a document live.
But is it, so it's ultimately, if there's a part of it that they don't like that's going to come out and they go to appeal this, I mean, this is
Appeal's
going
not the right word. To question it or challenge it, say they don't like
this
it.
This is being filed in South Florida, but is that decision ultimately come from a judge here or from Merrick Garland?
No, it's ultimately from the Justice Department. The Justice, this is our draft document as the United States Department of Justice. This is what we think it should say. We are giving you, defendant, an opportunity to take a look at it, give us input into it, but at the end of the day, it's our call.
If this doesn't come out, if they're successful in blocking or having parts of this redacted or taken out, and then it's in the hands of the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, if she's confirmed, she could theoretically say, okay, well, this is never going to come out, right?
Because the special counsel has to write the report, give it to the Attorney General. It's the Attorney General's choice as to whether to release it. If Merrick Garland does not release it and Pam Bondi comes in, she could choose not to.
So what this discussion makes clear is that ultimately Trump and his team are afraid of the truth coming out. And one has to wonder why. MAGA world has shown itself immune to the truth, and there is no truth whatsoever that right-wing media like Fox cannot spin into the opposite. I mean, for crying out loud, we all saw January 6th unfold in real time, and yet ultimately, MAGA world, with the help of Fox and others, spun it into peace and love. The Mueller report essentially said Trump is guilty, but the rules are you can't indict a sitting president. What could the Smith report possibly say that is more damaging, especially since we all know Trump is guilty? Well, for openers, no matter how loyal MAGA congressmen claim they are, many hate Trump with a passion. They just won't admit it. The Smith report could give cover in some ways for individual legislators to go against Trump if they need to. There's also the issue of legacy. We know two things about Trump. He has a fragile little ego, and he wants to be carved into Mount Rushmore. When this document releases and Marshawn rules he is a convict without a prison sentence, Trump will be lucky to have an airport in Arkansas named after him. Smith's report is going to bury the Trump legacy once and for all. For now, we all have to wait for, yes, Merrick Garland to do the right thing. This is definitely one of those if there's a God in heaven moments. Personally, I'm holding out for the report to give evidence that Trump wears a diaper and he sharts so much that that's why the bathroom was a convenient place to store documents. Spin that, Fox News. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.